Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do a quick read through of the 5.21 patch, and we see the notes. I'm just going to skim through it and read it up. If there's anything interesting, I'll share my opinion of it. We will see in the end what we will do with it. We'll just wing it. So to start off, we have Caitlyn. Fix the Caitlyn basic attack bug. Caitlyn mains Rejoice. The Sheriff's basic attack animation should no longer desync from damage being dealt when Lulu, or picks to be more accurate, is in the game. We're pretty sure that was the only cause of the desync, but we'll keep an eye on Kate this patch to see if any outliers crop up. Alright, God bless. We don't care about this. Cho'Gath. Fizz gains more stacks on champion kills and heals when he's full. Let me just... Fizz can for dedicated Cho'Gath mains, Fizz can be his highest high, numbing even the hardiest of meals, and his lowest low, endlessly playing catch up on Fizz stacks if he falls behind the curve. Adding extra bonuses to Fizz's success case gives Cho bigger rewards for getting aggressive hungry. Well, as well giving him the option to top off his already massive health pool once he's full. Killing a minion or monster at max stacks will now heal Cho'Gath for 90, 120, 150, doubled for enemy champions. So the heal is very small. It's like it's the heal sucks. This is not going to change Cho'Gath's issue at all. Like this is just useless to me. This is like fun for Cho'Gath mains who are stuck in platinum, but this is not going to change Cho'Gath as a pick. He's still Cho'Gath, you know, this annoying silence bot in mid, you know. So it might be fun, but the heal is very small. I thought it would be something like this if you focus Cho'Gath and he eats someone and he gets like this fucking, you know, he gets this massive heal that makes you win the fight. Okay, but this is 300 at level 16. You know, are you kidding me, man? You know, Feast stacks on champion kill 2. Sure, it's interesting, but if you're getting kills with Cho'Gath already, then it doesn't really matter if you get 1 or 2 stacks. Alright, I think this change is it's not useful. Sure, it might be cool, you know, you might get a kill or something, or survive with some HP, but I don't know. I don't like it. Gangplank's laning is as efficient as it is deadly, granting him guaranteed access to go with little interaction available to his opposition. Sure, it just starts with a few harmless Qs for extra cash, but then leads to a single barrel clearing the caster minions before ending in chain battles to vacuum entire waves. This nasty slippery slope of parlays ultimately leaves GP swimming in silver sappers and big ticket upgrades, outstatting anyone that gets in his way. This chain of events feels pretty awesome when Gangplank's the one doing it, but often leaves his opponents scrambling to catch up. These changes provide a wrench to toss into his plans, forcing him to run out of gas or life for applying pressure to his farm-centric game plan. He'll still terrorize the seas eventually, but now the responsibility of shutting him down feels more realistic. Base health, yeah, his base health was way too fucking big to begin with. Why is the mana gone? No longer refunds mana on kill, costs 40 mana. Yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty good, but Gangplank is still fucking strong. Still ban Gangplank. Like, what is OP about Gangplank? Like, mana is not a big issue, you know? As long as there are mana potions in the game, you know, this is not going to be an issue. As long as there's flask in the game, this is not going to be a big issue. If they told me they would nerf mana regen here as well, then this would be massive. But right now, no big deal. You buy Sheen first every time, mana is not an issue. Sure, this is a small nerf for the pre-first base, but still, Gangplank is complete broken. This does not matter. Fiora got the same nerf, doesn't fucking matter. His ultimate is still broken, he still crits out of this fucking universe, so it doesn't matter. Kassadin, ho ho ho! For being a late game monster, Kassadin pays perhaps the highest price in terms of his weaknesses, often losing games outright before completing the items he needs to get rolling. We don't want to go overboard, well here we go, Kassadin buffs. This is massive. In my opinion, Kassadin is already in a good state simply because the change they did to his ultimate. They gave it scaling for every stack, they gave it scaling like a base scaling for the first stack as well. Or like a first initial one that you do, so it kind of multiplies in a funny way when you get stacks. So to me, Kassadin is in a good position already. The issue with Kassadin, in competitive specifically, is the fact that there is very few compositions right now, if you take a look at Worlds, that can compensate for the lack of wave clear that Kassadin has, because people have shied away from things like Corki or Sivir. So there's Kalista, and if there's no Kalista with Hurricane, then it's kind of rough. That's the problem with Kassadin. In mid lane, Kassadin has very good matchup against every single mage in the game. Every single mage that is magic damage dealing, right? So we think Victor, Leblanc, we think Aziru, Emperor of Shurima, and we're thinking whatever else, Veigar, Twisted Fate. You know, these Kassadin has good matchup into these. So in that case, he's already strong. And then it's a question of he is not as more like he's pretty strong overall, you know. But if you manage to play Kassadin in a 1-3-1 situation, he's very strong. You saw Cool Tigers did it against Fnatic. I think Kassadin, this buff, any small buff is very good for Kassadin because he's in good state already. So I'm excited for this. Kha'Zix, clarity. Been a while since we said that word, hasn't it? Clarity. Q, taste their fear. Taste their fear. Base and Guardian of the Sands Kha'Zix. Visual indicators for isolated enemies of blah blah blah. Useless. Just addressing some bugs to kindred while players get used to the more unique ways of stalking the jungle. The minimap icon for Kindred's marks now correctly represent ally and enemy colors. Allied Kindred hunts will always... I have never played Kindred, so I don't even know what this means. This one's pretty simple. The experience sharing mechanic's been vital for Mordekai's success in dual lane, but the mount's clearly off. Turning what was intended to help him survive against his ranged oppressors into something that only serves to further snowball Mordekai's that get ahead. We're pulling back to strike a balance, seeing if we can maintain Mordekai's as a viable pick without becoming the mandatory Dragon Lord he is at present. Penalty for shedding experience on kill to 50%. So this is pretty decent, right? It's like I didn't even realize it changes to 0%, but 50% is still like a big nerf comparing to what it is at Worlds, where it's 100%. So I think Mordekai will finally be in a scenario where he's not 100% pick and ban at least. Maybe we'll see some sick Riven Mordekai's Zillion combo coming down on bot lane. Riven's a champion at equal parts impressive and frustrating when she succeeds, turning the battle lines into a blur of knockups and danger pings, leaving her opponents without many options. For a champion whose 3 basic abilities are so powerful on their own, Blade of Exile's cooldown always been finely to in concert with her access to cooldown reduction. Now, however, with the growing popularity of things like cooldown runes and the Black Cleaver, it's never been easier for Riven to hit their 40% cap and start breaking the laws of physics. Increasing the cooldown of Riven's ultimate won't move the needle too much once she reaches that point, but stretches enough of her engagement window to make a difference in the skirmishes and scraps Riven faces along the way to make or break her stall ball. Okay, I think it's a decent nerf, but Riven is still what Riven is. I think this is a good nerf. Not much to add. Recently, Veigar's dreams of crushing his opponents have become grim reality. No longer falling short on delivering the damage, he towers above the competition as he perhaps the hardest killing AP champion in League. Perhaps? Perhaps? Of course he's the hardest scaling AP champion in the game because he scales infinitely. Perhaps. He scales infinitely. Come on. We like Vega's curve of amassing farm and rising to notoriety, notorious BIG, over the course of the game, so we're clipping some of his bases to rely even more on his ability to stack Baleful Strike, and your ability to interfere with that as for success, as a focus for his success. So this change doesn't fucking matter. Veigar is still broken. The problem with Veigar is the fucking AP scaling on this ability. The AP scaling on Dark Matter is complete silliness. The AP scaling on Baleful Strike should also be reduced. That is the problem. That is the problem to me. You know? He's getting so much ability power in a lot of matchups almost for free. I don't like this. I don't like this change. The base damage does not matter. Nerf the AP scaling a little bit, so he does not one-shot me if I'm 4000 HP Gnar with 100 MR and I don't get one-shotted. That is the problem. Dark Matter, too high AP scaling. Let's just check this out, right? Veigar. Not Veigar counters, I need LOL wiki. LOL wiki. Let's check this out, right? LOL wiki. So, we have an AoE ability that has 1-to-1 AP ratio. 1-to-1 AP ratio. Right? 1-to-1 AP ratio on an area of effect ability. 60% AP ratio on something that is on a 5-second cooldown. And it can hit it up to 2 people. Too high AP ratio. And this 1-to-1 AP ratio, this is the problem of Veigar. His AP ratios are simply too big. Veigar is still going to be strong after this nerf. Keep playing Veigar, keep banning Veigar. New passive lets Zilean donate levels. Q is more responsive. Zilean's passive is one of those ideas that's really neat in theory, but lackluster in execution. Manipulating experience is a slam dunk thematically, what with his wisdom and time loss status, but ran into the same problems auras typically do. They either feel incredibly weak, even when balanced, or are tuned so you can feel their effects, in which case they are overpowered. Instead of dealing with the headache of an aura that affects an already invisible strength experience, he's getting a brand new one. Time in a bottle. Right. Let me just... In essence, Zilean's Time Bottle does the same thing as the previous passive in the sense that it gives experience to allies nearby, but splits it into clear chunks that you and your allies can appreciate. Whoa! Now Zilean players everywhere can feel cool about the contributions to a team, finishing a jungler's level so he can gank with his newly ranked ultimate, or stacking one member of your time even higher to combine with Chrono Shift for time-powered carry potential. Lastly, we've got a bunch of changes to Time Bomb to make it feel much more responsive. They may look small in practice, but we dug in to solve a large number of player-reported issues, particularly associated with usability and visual clarity. So take a gander and let us know what you think. If you weren't the biggest fan of the Zillionaire, there's never been a better time to pick him up. We'll show ourselves out. Thank you. Now has a recommended items for both AP and support styles. Alright. How about doing that to fucking Lulu? Passive. Time in the bottle. Zilean borrows experience over time. When he has enough experience stored to finish an ally's level, he can right click them to give both himself and his ally the amount stored. 120 seconds. Alright. So we have 120 second cooldown. Time in the bottle cannot be used in combat. Holy Zilean mid. Can I give this to myself? He can right click to give both himself and his ally the amount stored. Oh, Zillion. Zillion mid, dude. Zillion mid is going to be good. Zillion mid is going to be so good, man. Oh. Shit. He can give this to himself and his ally. This is insane. Woo. It's so strong. How much is 2 experience every 5 seconds? 2 experience every 5 seconds. This is in before we go full poke champ. We need to 2 experience, 1 minute, 60 divided by 5. We have 12. 12 times 2. We have 24 experience per minute. At level 7, at minute 7, you reach level 6. So at that time, at 7 minutes, you have accumulated 24 times 7. Does this start the moment you get into game? I'm assuming so. 24 times 7 is 140 plus 4 times 7, which is 28. So 168 mana or experience. How much experience do you need to level up? Experience to level up. League of Legends. So we're going to look at the benchmarks, right? So at this point, $90 experience. Okay. It's pretty damn good. Alright. My friends in the chat, he can right click them to give both himself and his ally the amount stored. My friends in the chat, please, he can right click them to give both himself and his ally the amount stored. Himself and his ally. Himself and his ally. Himself and his ally. Alright? Thank you. So, why the no, this is Summoner. No! I'm looking at the wrong shit. It felt very wrong. I was like, what the? So we had 168 experience. 168 experience around this time. So it's pretty fucking low, the amount of the experience you can give away. Okay. I got too excited too quick, man. But still, it could be interesting. You can boost your teammates later on to key levels. I think I need to experiment more with this, because I think the fact that you can boost people later in the game. If you're playing Zillion mid, you can boost people later in the game. But it's also interesting the fact that if you support, you don't need to like get experience to get experience. You know, you don't need to be in lanes, which I thought it would be, where you would basically stand in mid and you basically like for every CS you get, you kind of soak in a bit of extra of their essence or some shit, you know. So I think this passive could be interesting, but I got a little bit too excited about it. Because later on in the game, 12 per 5. Let's say you have a support at level 17. It's 56 mini waves. You need 1780 at 12. Nah, it's still pretty fucking slow. Who cares? I'm not too excited about this passive. Never mind. I got too excited. Vision rages. Okay. Bug fixes. Alright, this is all boring. Alright. That's pretty much it. Not too big changes. Like, these changes are pretty sad. I'm excited about casting buffs. Yes, yes, yes. I think the approach on Veigar nerfs are completely wrong. Veigar is still unbalanced because of his shit. Like, his scaling is completely ridiculous. It's like 1-to-1 AoE ability, man. What? It makes no sense. 2.5 seconds stun. Oh my goodness, this is what's OP. This is what's OP. This is what's OP. This makes him unique. So I don't want him to change this. This makes him unique, but this makes him broken. Oh my god. Alright. YamatoCannon is so cute, man. Alright. I think that's it. That's it for these patch notes. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, put them below. Peace.